In my childhood, the walls, why were they all white on top and green on bottom? The compounds are like this. Classrooms were like this. Hospitals were like this. And so were the stations. In the words of the older generation, this unique green wall group, it has a name, sanitary wall. As the name suggests, from the perspective of the wall, green paint can prevent hand and foot rubbing, sweepers, furniture, and other pollution of the wall. And because the surface of the paint has a layer of film, by wiping it with a wet rag, many stains can be removed. From the human perspective, the white ash on the wall, 1T rub on your body, also much cleaner. Such as schools, hospitals, and these places with large crowds need stronger protection. But there are many types of skirting boards, wooden tiled, and so on. Why? From the 60s to the 80s of the last century, this kind of green wall was more popular? Of course, the planned economy and pragmatism. Let's take a look at the Soviet Union after World War II to solve the problem of population and severe housing shortages. Cheap and quick Khrushchev buildings appeared. Small rooms appeared. Public quarters, toilets, and kitchens. Our parents and grandparents must be familiar with. That is to say, we can understand the green wall as a low-end version of wall groups. Now we know the reason for painting half the wall. But why is it green? This question, and why the machine tools in factories are mostly green, is similar. Besides being dirty resistant and reducing visual fatigue, there is another important reason for consumption. During World War II, green paint was produced. Similar to that, there were green trains. Of course, in that era, itself was a color of righteousness, which was in line with the public's aesthetics. So, the impact of the environment is still very large. From military industry and infrastructure to clothing and house decoration, we can see the green in our memories. However, for China at that time, learning from the Soviet Union was one aspect. Using a single color of paint can indeed reduce production costs. Now there are so many high-end paints to choose from. We don't need to paint the walls anymore. But interestingly, fashion is a cycle. There are still many people who like retro style will choose to paint half of the wall. However, the colors and brushing methods vary.